Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly, and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
We want to go all in on MLGO. We love Chinese companies with a tiny market cap where it's hard to find all the financial information.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that checked and it's gone.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Laughing Stock. How are you, Dane?
Good, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I just saw this Chinese company that there was some conversation like people couldn't find the proper financial information about them. That's a all-in bet in my eyes.
Yeah. If the data seems kind of sketchy, it's probably just because you're the only one that's looking at it, so you have a huge advantage there.
Yeah. So that's all in for me. And these Chinese companies, they are always a bit hard, but also when you add in a tiny market cap and you just can't find the information. But I saw some comments though. Watch this drop till like single digits, and then it has a huge bounce. So who knows?
Yeah, and I've been just playing around with a lot of the Chinese companies, and I will say that it's very mixed on which ones are gonna bounce. Even using the charts and stuff, it's just not any kind of guarantee on them. But you never know too, because like you said, some days they just have a stupid pop. So I don't know. To me, like they start to seem like you're just gambling with them though. So yeah. I think in the future, unless I can really find something that has like a little more credibility to it, to me, that's going to be a quick pass for me. So honestly, kind of similar to how I looked at it before. I might be a little bit more willing now on the chart to buy one of them, but it's just tough. And there's a lot of foreign risk that you kind of take on in doing that. So I'll definitely limit my exposure to them, but
yeah. No, I just tend to stay away from them like I always done. We have seen some, Hindenburg had a good report on one of them, and it looked just terrible. They were making things up, and then, like that has scared me a bit when it comes to foreign companies. Actually, I don't know if it's just my style or right now I can't afford to, I have so much money locked into Alto, so I want to, of course, I want to not lose on the next ones I put in. So I'm just avoiding the foreign risk right now, to be honest.
Yeah, probably not a bad call.
Yeah. There has been, if you read the description of today's stream, Dane, there are circulating some rumors that you have taught yourself how to draw with a new color on the charts.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to blend the colors,
Yeah.
they make new colors when you do that. So it's really it's a unique skill that I'm picking up here that I really think is going to change everything around for us.
That sounds like gold in my ears, you know.
That's actually that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to make golden lines.
Oh, good idea.
Just
good
I'm
idea.
going to make it all gold, and then regardless of if it's going up or down, the line's gold. So
it's gold. So you have to follow it.
That's just how you just win, you know.
But good to hear that you are developing. I want to see a YouTube tutorials when you are like fully finished, so I can also learn how to do this.
I just don't know if I can get it in I feel like it'll be like a 10-hour video. I just don't want to.
Yeah, maybe that can be your career path.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming. It's complex, and
I'm proud of you, of the progress you have made with the lines.
Yeah.
And I saw also there are some rumors circulating that Redneck Johnny has dropped below 1,000 in chess rating from chess.com. And I have to say that that is actually true. I had a very bad day in chess yesterday, and I had like 4 losses in a row or something. So I almost threw out the computer, and you know.
Stiff competition these days.
It's tough times for sure.
Probably a bunch of 5-year-olds got on there and just started smoking you.
I said on Thursday, because I just brought it up a little bit, and actually Value added me. He plays chess as well, so I'm gonna play chess with Value.
Yeah, actually, I started playing chess this year more so than I had in the past. So
yeah,
maybe I'll have to get in on this.
Yeah, you have to. But I saw that because I looked up the ratings and stuff, because I was so happy when I got the 1,000, and I saw like if you are 1,200, you are considered like a very, very amateur player.
Well, got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's the week been for you with your portfolio?
Well, I had that after the stream on Tuesday, I had quite a pullback. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. The whole market's pulled back. I think it was Wednesday, which is whatever. You're going to have days it pulls back. And then there was that kind of rally on Friday and whatnot. And some stuff was working out. Don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff I'm starting to sell out of just because I want to start to move into some of these other things and open up some cash for the rest of my positions. But I ended up about up in 1.5%. So a little down from Tuesday, which was just over 2%. But even 1.5%, I mean, you know, like I say, our goal every week is 5%, which is a lot for any week. But in the long run, I'm shooting for 50% returns. So as long as I'm getting 1% a week, I'm hitting my goal. So just kind of stay on target here. And I'm definitely have to find some stuff to start adding for next week, because I did loosen up some cash. I'll probably only look for 1 or 2 positions, but hopefully we can find something either on here or throughout today or something. I can find something.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've pulled up a few tickers for the day, but since my Thursday stream, I haven't seen so many interesting things actually. I've also not paid too much attention for the weekend. I have I was a bit busy yesterday, so I didn't get to do much. But what I am happy about is like Mastercraft has finished the week again above 21. And remember, it's not that long ago it was trading under 18 bucks, so that was pretty quick bounce back. And I have still not seen any insider buys from Coliseum at around 18. So I'm starting to believe that they are happy with their position and what they have. I think I calculated that they have since September bought like 34 million in Mastercraft. So that's
I think that sets a really strong floor for the stock around, definitely in the $17, but more around 18. We had already said that we think it's kind of crazy that it was getting down there anyways. So And you know, another ticker I just am noticing that you and I are talking about that's doing well is Malibu Boats. Those are both in the same kind of realm that we were talking
Yeah.
about, and both of them had pretty similar strong returns this same period. So
Yeah. I did read a little bit more on Mastercraft yesterday. I had just a brief time to do it. And I remember when it dropped down to like 17, I think that was due to Malibu struggling. Because they had a big customer that were struggling with money or something like that. So that just sent like waves across the industry that, you know, there are uncertain times, but the whole point is that it has to turn sometime, you know, and when Coliseum is then buying up so much stock around these levels, I'm feeling a bit confident on. They can of course be wrong also, but if you look at their history, we have talked about this on the stream before. They seem to nail it pretty good actually. It's very impressive to see their entries and exits. It's pretty much spot on.
yeah, well, you know, I think they're fundamental investors, and you know, I look at Mastercraft, for instance, and I think it's a good business. You know, I know because of the fact it's more, you know, a luxury type product that we're probably not in the strongest time period for that kind of stock, just because people are more likely less to buy something like that right now. But also just being on the higher end of things. You know, and weather's been good. I mean, you know, maybe you could argue in the dead of winter, it's probably going to be cyclically, you know, or seasonality wise, not as strong. But I think most of us, if you're looking at the fundamentals, like you're just going to assume those quarters are going to be weaker quarters and that they're going to make more of that up during the warmer periods. So at least 3 quarters of the year. So it doesn't really matter to me so much. I don't think it's going to get too crazily priced out on something like that. So as of now, I think it's just one to keep an eye on, because I think it's just being well run, and it's more what I'm looking for.
And they have, according to themselves, they have outperformed their own expectations for some of the quarters in this tough climate. So they are like, the goal for them must be to just keep it running and get through this. And that's where their big, somewhat big cash position comes into play for me. They have some time and some options with that cash that they have. So no, I'm happy. I bought more at 18 blank, and I think I'm gonna sit in this for hopefully that it goes up to 30 again.
To 30, yeah. I mean, it could definitely get back.
Yeah. I have to see. I'm like 20, right, almost 20% up now.
Yeah.
Another one. I'm gonna switch over to the screen now. Another ticker that I have tracked lately is AMRK, and they had a bounce. Well, they've had a good week actually. You know, when I first started looking at it, it was trading at 32. So I think maybe it's too late for this one.
Yeah, and I remember because we were talking about Cuppy was following it, and I listened to a podcast, and Cuppy actually said that he thinks in terms of it kind of pulling back and starting to jump back up, that he actually liked it around 30-ish. He's like in the low 30s. He's like, I really think that's a steal. He's like, if you're talking about doing an entrance position, he's like, I think this would be a good time to do it. So he called that pretty perfectly.
Yeah. And when he bought up, it went up to 40 something, I think, around here.
Well, I mean, Cuppy will tell you too, there is the Cuppy bounce that, you know, it's similar to some of these other larger investors that, you know, if all of a sudden he's bullish on something, the rest of the market definitely takes him seriously. I mean, he knows his stuff. Cuppy's a smart investor. So
he's very good. I also listened to a podcast with him, and he suggested a book. Of course, now I can't remember the title. It was like New Gold or something, Today's Gold or something. And I started reading it. I have not finished it, but so far it's good. It's about cycles and like when money moves to somewhere, there's opportunity if you look in the other direction, and like stuff like that, just to understand it. And I feel like this is a type of play for him that fits in well with what their books talks about.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it looks good right now. Like here, I wonder, do you think it could push out from into the 40s?
Yeah. I mean, it's if you listen to him, he had a not crazy, but he has a crazy high price target on for some years, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's able to push out.
Yeah, but I think I was a bit late on this one. I just wanted to talk a little bit again about Alto before we go into the dashboard, because there was some new articles. I talked about this on Thursday, but what I found a bit interesting, just to like be a bit realistic here for the coming report, because Justin we're writing something here that is like hold on, this one, that maybe he tries to take down the expectations a little bit and look forward to the Q3 report, which will come in November, I think it is. Because he's saying like, well, they already guided a 4 million hit in extra costs from the biennial peaking maintenance. Magic Valley wasn't supposed to be up and running until the end of Q2, and there was likely some cost to get that ramped up. You think those things are substantially already priced into current stock price? So I'm more focused on Q3 guidance and any comments surrounding the Co-Pro Max results with full installations, as well as hearing if there has been any progress selling assets. So he's in line with what we have talked about, but also it's like a bit, maybe you shouldn't expect like that they're gonna kill the numbers this time.
Yeah, well, we had already said, I mean, I think this next quarter is the first time that we might be able to get some, what I would consider good news, as in like it's performing kind of where we're expecting.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, I feel like as we get further into the year, and similar to what you said in terms of your time frame on how long you want to hold this, it's really going to be like by that Q3, we should hopefully really start to see some results.
Yeah. So I've always thought this about this summer, like if this report can be acceptable and you get some good news, like Justin is finishing his comment with here, like on asset sales or the deal with Volt, that's good enough for me for this quarter.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Q3, hopefully they can, everything is up and running. They should deliver good results by then, and hopefully they will, you know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, because I know we talk a lot about Alto here, and the Q2 report is, I think it's just a week away or something now.
Yeah, I still think as long as Q2 is decent, I think you're going to watch this push up to 2.
Yeah. But you know how it was on the last one. It was decent enough, but the price dropped by 20% or something.
But that's what I'm saying is I think it's like that period where everyone's like, all right, like they're not performing anytime soon. So there's a lot of people who are so quick in and out of these kind of things that like if the news is that like we have longer until anything even changes, then a lot of people are just out.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I hope last time Justin was not on the call, on the live call. I hope he will be on there asking some questions again on Q2, because I actually thought it was important that he jumped in on, it was Q4 report, I think, and asked some questions to clarify for everyone, because that was very helpful when they answered his questions back then.
Well, sometimes I'm confused, and it's not. I mean, specifically Alto sometimes, but also with some of these other companies too. Like it seems like if you've been following at least like an analyst like Justin who really understands a company, a lot of times during the earnings report, it's like management kind of fails to touch on kind of the things that all of us are wondering anyways. Like
Yeah.
they talk about kind of the stuff that we all know about, and it's really like more kind of like we're asking about what's going on into the future. Like I care about that much more so than just the general numbers from. I mean, don't get me wrong, I care about the last quarter, but like a lot of times too, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of nuance and in terms of like selling assets and stuff like that. Those are questions that people are going to have, and like to not really go in depth into that kind of stuff during the transcript, or not the transcript, but the
Call.
yeah, the call. It's just kind of surprising to me sometimes where management goes with things and thinks that's going to help out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And they have gotten some compensation, so they also have like interest in the stock price doing well, of course. So it's a bit weird to me, like you said, that they don't see how they can be a bit more strategic in terms of selling the stock to the market, and by that I'm not meaning like hype things up, because that's not what you should do, and that's not what Alto has done at all. Quite the opposite, actually. But if they could give us some information about the progress of the Volt deal, and also they were pretty clear though when Justin asked about the asset sales. I found the quote just a few days ago, and they were like, yeah, we have always said that if an opportunity comes to sell some assets, we are open for it, So it's very clear that they are on the look for some buyers, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying that now, but I don't know. I just feel like Justin has to like probe them a little bit.
Yeah.
To like answer.
He definitely did, because that was the quote came from his question.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so
I don't know. I just find that strange.
Yeah. So I think I hope Justin jumps on the call, because it was really good, and the best thing is what he was at the very end. So and I watched the stock price go actually up after his question. So it was down a lot, and then it bounced back a little bit when he asked some question. If that was random or not, I'm not sure, but it was interesting to see.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, should we jump into the dash then?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start getting to things here.
I saw this week has been a bit up and down, right? In the risk column, I have a lot of green here, but the cocoa is down in my sheet. We missed out on that one.
I have it up.
Maybe I have the wrong ticker then. What do you use?
For Coco?
Yeah?
Just $ and COCOA.
I use another one. NIB I use. I'm not sure if that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, it had a little bounce back. It's been kind of moving around the moving average right now.
Oh, yeah. No, I probably have... Hold on. No, mine is wrong, I think. Anyways. So it's up then.
Yeah, but in general, though, it's not. It's still kind of in this downtrend right now. I don't think... I don't see too much of a strong price action here.
Yeah.
So, but
And Tesla, have
What else?
they
I saw
recovered
Bitcoin
or?
come back here, it looked like. MicroStrategy was back up.
Yeah.
9% day for them. Which I know they have all their funds in Bitcoin, is why I'm saying it must have had a decent day.
Yeah, because Bitcoin is touching 70 again.
Yeah. Which whatever, like we've said a million times, I've never invested Bitcoin. I'm just I keep
No.
an eye on it, but
Yeah.
not to say I'm like necessarily opposed to, but it's, I don't know.
It's fascinating to look at.
Yeah, I think my problem is right now it's just so expensive. I would never be interested in it right now.
Yeah.
But if there was to be a giant pullback at some point again, then I would probably start watching the chart a little bit, and then I would possibly go in right then. So
Yeah. Would you then buy actual Bitcoin or do the ETFs, or how would you do that?
that's a good question. I feel like I would. I feel like I would either just go straight Bitcoin, or I might even use MicroStrategy, because I feel like as a company, MicroStrategy swings a lot more than even Bitcoin does.
Yeah. I had a bad experience with Coinbase, because a long time ago I bought some Ethereum and I just had them there. Small amount, I bought for, this was way before I started actually investing, so I bought for I think it was like $5, so it's the amount is not relevant here, but it went up and I wanted money out, and then all of a sudden it was very hard to take out the money from Coinbase. I had to document, it was very easy to put them in, but to take them out was very hard. It took me like a month or so to email them and get my money out in the end.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for me.
No, I would probably do some of the ETFs if I were to play Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't thought about it too much, to be honest, because I haven't been interesting. Well, I don't see so much interesting here in the dashboard. Do you, from Friday?
Well, I just think mid cap, or not mid cap. I'm sorry, I'm reading as I'm going here, but I think a lot of the value stuff's done. Had a decent little pullback now, and then all of a sudden on Friday you had a huge jump again. So I think a lot of the value type stuff's moving. So that's great, because that tends to be more in the realm that I'm looking. And we'll see how high that goes. But if you look at any of their value ETFs, like they're doing pretty well recently. And then I don't know. It looks like some of the bigger companies are pulling back, like a lot of the big tech names. So I'm wondering if we're seeing a rotation out of some of these crazy, like the Magnificent Seven. I wonder if you're seeing a bit of a rotation out of those and more into the rest of the market. And as of now, I mean, the big macro news is that it looks like there's going to be a rate cut in September. I think the whole market's starting to bank on that. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not a macro guy really, but and that's going to already probably be priced in. I mean, that's why I feel like you see the Russell kind of pounce it right back as soon as they keep talking about it. And so very bullish though for a lot of the smaller stocks that you and I are looking at.
Yeah, it will be, and it would be. It will be good to come out of this period now, because there's so many things that are hugely affected by some slight guidance or something, like in terms of the rate cuts and stuff like that. So it has been a bit hard to navigate through, because all of a sudden they disappoint a bit, and then the entire market falls, and it just feels like it has been a bit tough. So it's going to be good to bounce out of that a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and I also think it kind of makes sense, because if you think about it, if these guys are using whatever they're using for their funding, whatever form of debt, you know, those percentage rates for like a larger company, they probably have a lot less effect overall because, you know, like a 0.5% move on a really big company, you know, they have so much money that it probably doesn't affect them that much. Where some of these smaller caps, like, you know, 0.5%, 1% move can eat up, you know, any of the money that they're making essentially.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a rate drop, on these smaller companies, it's like exponentially affecting them because they can go from positive earnings to negative earnings on a small, you know, change.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me on why the Russell trades so heavily on that news.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Value was saying to us, Value's here. He's saying it's late here, so won't be on for the whole stream, but we'll catch up on the full stream tomorrow. Yeah, a nice Value. Thanks for tuning in, though.
Yeah, welcome, Value. We're all over the place. This where's Value from?
New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand. So we are on all three corners of the world here.
That's great.
Because it is very early here.
You know, the channel is Mr. Worldwide, like Pitbull.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that'll be our. We'll have to. That'll be our thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah. It should. Now, but cool, Value. Dayne said to me that he will start to play chess as well, so we're gonna we're gonna meet on the chessboard now.
Start to have some competitions here.
Nice, nice. All right, should we jump into the fundamentals, Dayne?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have OLN up here, which is a company that I'm not sure if we have done them on a stream, but this is a company that I'm familiar with a little bit, at least.
I do not have these guys in my thing, so they are new for me, I believe.
Okay. I think I remember Roaring Kitty pulled them up at some point.
I was gonna say the ticker sounds familiar, but they're not in my database, so I don't think I've actually specifically gone through them. So
yeah. Well, they had a drop on Friday, 7%. They showed up in my daily movers, so that's why they are here. I kind of, if you pull up the chart, then it didn't look too bad in my opinion.
Do they own Winchester?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Gotcha. Okay. It's just interesting that it's like a chemical company, but they also deal with ammunition. Like just,
yeah.
It's not what I was expecting. Nothing. I mean, it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because, you know, obviously you need the compounds to make the bullets, but all right. Whoa, big drop on Friday, huh?
Yeah, 7%, and that has made them trade like 6% to the 52-week low. And you know, the fundamentals, I'm looking at it here, and it's like the market cap is a bit high for what we usually tend to deal in. But I kind of like the fundamentals even still, though. It's a bit levered. But I think I have to check the depth here. I think that they will be fine.
I'm sure they're fine. I mean, they missed Q2 guidance, so that's really what the sell-off here is. But
yeah.
I mean, it definitely trades at, I would say, a premium. But what I probably wouldn't be looking at OLN, but now because they missed guidance and had this drop, it actually makes it a little more interesting to me.
Yeah, gives you the opportunity, right?
Right. And I mean, yeah, it could be an overall shift in more of a downtrend now for a while. Because like I said, I do think this got pretty optimistically priced here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it being priced, you know, I'm not saying it can't be worth like 50, but that's more on the high side. I mean, if you look at the chart for the past few years, it's traded in between low 40s and to all the way up to mid 60s. So
yeah, I would say like 50 as well. bit higher maybe. And now it's close to 45 now. So it's only a 36% up to the 52-week high. So maybe the upside is not substantial here, but you can get a quick bounce back in this one, I think.
I do wonder though, is because of the limited in supply chains and stuff, did they really benefit from the past 2 years as that supply chain kind of gets back revved up and everybody was paying a little bit extra to try to get their products in? Now that that seems to have gone down, is this going to return more to historic norms? Which, like I said, I don't think that means that there's going to be this crazy pullback in terms of everything, but I think like you're going to watch it kind of slowly grow, kind of more similar to it did from, you know, the 2000 teens all the way to, you know, 2020, where it just kind of slowly kept growing.
Yeah.
Not bad numbers. I mean, even during that period, though, not bad numbers.
No, it seems to be like a pretty solid, well-driven company. But to your point, the margins are down pretty heavily also in the last year, you know. And the operating expense is even up in that same period. So they might seem to struggle a little bit more than the last two previous years. But also in the last two previous years, the share price has been a bit up and down all the time. So.
Right. And I mean, they do have a substantial amount of debt here. So.
Yeah. It's also due in like a lot of years, you know, 2025, 27, 29, 30.
Split up and everything.
Yeah. So they have to cover that, you know, that debt is heavy and it's real. So and I'm not sure if what do you have for share count in the past like years? Do you have like a big repurchase in the last 4 years?
Yeah, it looks like they've been purchasing stock back like pretty strongly actually. Which is...
But you might maybe you see a dilution again then to at some point to deal with the debt, but they are generating cash though. But the 2027 one is a bit that's a lot of it's a big jump up in what they have to cover in the debt.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. They have a lot of different, they have a bunch of different notes. And although, you know, this 2025 one's 9.5% senior notes, so it'll be nice to get rid of those.
Yeah. I don't think they will. I get they have 160 million right now in excess cash.
And also, where do you, I mean, I see 2025 is, you know, is those notes that are due. And then once those are paid off, it looks like they're good till 2027.
Yeah.
So, and then a lot is due in 2027. So that's definitely they're gonna have to do something for that, like you were saying. But
yeah, that's a big one. But they also have a big one 2 years after.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like you said, though, it's something that we're not necessarily focused on right now. But yes, they will have to raise the cash to either that or they'll, you know, because the other thing too is I don't think it'll be an issue because honestly, I think they'll just take on a similar amount of debt, especially if rates start to come down. Because I mean, look at all the way back. I don't know what your numbers are, but if I go back to 2016, they've had this $3 billion in debt up to $4 billion and have just kind of coasted in that range. So I think they're just happy to run the business with about, you know, just over $3 billion in debt. That seems fine. They're comfortable with that.
Yeah, it seems like they are comfortable with it. And in that time also they have grown book value. Not a lot, but they have grown it, you know. So and if you look at the revenue and also that time, if you exclude the last year, it has gone up quite a bit.
I will say though, one thing that you know, just after these last 2 years looking good, if you look historically at like the common income, it looks like we're getting back down to where there's going to be possibly years that are negative overall. So
Yeah.
I do think this stock price could pull back going forward if that's the case.
Yeah.
Like we might be bouncing away from this kind of high where we've just been in like the 40s for a while.
Yeah. But if it drops down to like 40, 42, it would be interesting to see where it goes from there on the chart. If it breaks that that floor, you might get a big drop.
Well, I would even say just that gap down initially was pretty ugly. What was it? It had a little bit of a bounce in after hours, but nothing impressive. Yeah, I don't know.
That was on the earnings report too, like you said.
How bad were these earnings reports? Does it say?
I'm reading one here now. He said that it was a terrible quarter based on the call. They have no idea when the draw will end. Non-ammo may not fully recover until 2026, and that's without a recession. They're cutting capex and other expenses, which tells me the future is very bleak. I have them at 3 in EPS for 2024, and that's generous. They should be trading in the low 30s. Stay away until the clouds go away.
Yeah, and to be honest, this whole repurchasing of stock's going to definitely come to an end here, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I can see even future dilution.
I don't think they'll dilute. I think they'll go debt.
Okay. They have purchased back a lot of shares though since 21.
Yeah, and it still says they have $800 million left, which
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe they continue as the stock price pulls back. Maybe they start to get more aggressive with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things that's kind of confusing to me, and I've seen this time and time again with the company. So these guys have a shitload of cash that they're generating because these last 2 years have been fantastic, but the stock price is, is at all-time highs. And I get it that like you want to do something with that cash, but and they've been very consistent with the dividend, so I'm happy to see that. But at the same time, too, 80-cent dividend is also. It's whatever. It's something, but it doesn't mean much to me. I feel like during those time periods, I would have probably rather see them pay back some of that debt for when there's a worse period in time, just to make sure that there's no worries about any of that kind of stuff. And to be honest, like there's going to be probably time periods again where this company does super well, and it just all depends on what's going on in the world and stuff. And I the stock price would have probably pulled back anyways, and I would have probably rather seen them, spend a little bit more on debt right now and just hold the cash, and then as it comes back down, then start to repurchase a lot more shares for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, there's a lot of big owners in this, like big, big funds and stuff. So
I still think it's a pretty good company. Don't get me wrong. Like. I think there's a lot of good to see here, but I do think in terms of cyclicality, I think we're heading into a rough period.
Yeah. And there was a hurricane that made them disrupt operations, which was recent. So maybe that had an effect on the quarter as well.
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean, we'll see. It's pulled back to this multiple times in the past 2 years, even with all the good numbers. So I don't know, but that's kind of what makes me worry that if we're moving in this kind of like it's kind of been bouncing sideways, that we might be looking at a downturn here.
Yeah, they got a new CEO in February. So there has also been some changes in management here.
We'll have to see what they do with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think I will add them to my tracker, but I will. I remember the ticker if it comes up again, if I see a further.
Yeah, actually, and I'm looking at the comments, and people are like, "This should be trading in the 30s," and that's kind of what I'm starting to think it's going to pull back to.
Yeah. In the 30s.
Yeah, honestly, the one thing I will say is you could definitely trade this, but I think we're going to be in a downtrend.
Yeah.
Like
So
honestly, the one thing I will say is you could definitely trade this, but I think we're going to be in a downtrend.
Yeah.
But just from what I'm looking at, it looks like it's more the chemicals side of things is struggling. You know, the ammo side's doing fine, it looks like, but the rest of the business is struggling. So,
did you find presentation?
No, I'm just on Seeking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a pretty heavy downgrade on the guidance. They're saying third quarter 2024 outlook. Second half demand recovery weaker than expected. Product pricing improving but slower than planned. You know, hurricane impact. So the outlook just was substantially downgraded now, I think. So, no, maybe you're right. Maybe you will see this fall a bit more.
Yeah, that's one thing I've really been noticing, and this is probably more obvious because, you know, as I start to watch the charts more and you see what kind of short-term catalysts really affect charts. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, but when guidance changes, it's going to be a rough period for the stock. There's, you know, it's super rare that you're going to see an analyst come out with a downgrade and the whole stock's like, nah, they're wrong. This is going to be good.
Yeah. And you see here also they have a point like continue our consistent capital allocation of dividend and share repurchases. So they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna go away from the dividend, or it seems like they want to purchase more shares too, which could be smart if it drops low enough long term, but you know, maybe they should be a bit careful also now in this environment if it keeps dropping, because if they start to trim the dividend, they're gonna get a lot of investors that jumps out of their stock, I think.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
But they have to maintain that depth, which is coming. And no insiders. They purchased their own shares, so that's...
Yeah, I don't see any insider, just the ownership.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty good ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
probably...
biggest thing is just the narrative. It's just not a great narrative right now.
There was some insiders in in August 2020. This is probably why Roaring Kitty was pulling them in, right?
Way back in 2020. Well, just, I mean, to be honest, it trading down at $11, that just to me seems, even if you look at 2020, the numbers did, I don't know if it justifies $11. I mean, they still had $2.77 for cash flow. And if you looked at historically, that was an off year for them, but up until that point, they had been growing.
Yeah.
And then 2021 was like a bounce back year. And from there, it just kept going better and better. So, I mean, I think that's important.
Managed to,
these things
they managed to keep the same dividend.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
No, I said they managed to pay the same dividend in during the pandemic.
Well, I think they've kept it historically kind of low.
Yeah.
So.
All right, should we go to the next one here, or?
Yeah, let's keep going.
The next one I have is CLMT.
Calumet?
On? Yeah.
Calumet?
Yeah.
All right, just pulling them up.
Which a lot of the it looks pretty ugly, but I think I found this also on the chart, on the 5 year.
Gotcha. I have looked at them before, but it's been a minute.
Because they've had a big drop lately with a lot of selling.
A lot of these like chemical type companies are struggling right now.
Yeah.
They're also in, looks like in SAF.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, it says they have one of their parts is Montana Renewables, manufactures sustainable aviation fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a little uglier.
Yeah, on the fundamentals, I don't like this, just looking at it immediate here, and they are also levered.
I will say it looks like, EBITDA and EBIT have been increasing. And even though net income is negative this trailing 12 months, it's closer to positive. We're slowly getting to where they look like they might have earnings.
Yeah, because I just looked at their margins, and it's still bad, but it's improving. So it was 7% up actually on Friday, but if you pull up the chart, you see since mid-July has dropped pretty heavily.
Yeah, and one thing going into next week and stuff, we're really going to start to get into the earnings season for a lot of companies. So definitely you want to be cognizant of what you're in, because that's where you're going to see some of these things really move.
Yeah. And this went down to 12, and you see if you go back to October, it was exactly at the same point.
Yeah, right.
That was before another earnings, so yeah. But then bounced back up, straight back up. Are people writing anything here?
Actually, someone just wrote the first article on July 25th.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What? I've never seen just one article before. But a lot of comments though.
Well, it's, if no one's talking about it, all it takes is someone to actually post something, and then becomes a little more interesting.
Yeah.
And this looks actually relatively well written.
Yeah, because it seems like this guy has a lot of he has 3,500 followers on Seeking.
So the next 2 quarters in September and December of 2024 are critical. Stellar execution, especially with the MRL, is essential. Looking forward into September, we believe it will be seasonally stronger, possibly 90 to 100 million in EBITDA. That is if our June estimate is close. At this point, we refrain from estimating December, but expect MRL margins to continue higher with outage headwind of 10 days. Asphalt sale margins will fall, coupled with some tailwinds of seasonality. And they're hoping by 2025, cash flows will likely turn extremely positive in the $150 million to $200 million range. MRL likely generates significantly above $50 million a quarter on average. In the older specialty business, reaching into a very high $200 million range for the year. And this is all at the same time with expenses falling below $70 million per year. They said that this is a crucial year in our view.
Yeah.
So to be honest, he's also saying recently one of the analysts, UBS, raised their price target to $18.50, maintaining a hold. They expect significant higher prices than the current price near its $14. They said it's a lumpy progression, but after cash flows and expenses, there's possible $800 million per year or $9+ per share for 3+ years out.
Yeah.
He said, noted above, it's about getting through tight cash flows within the next 4 months. And once the buy signal triggers, they plan to upgrade to a buy. Until then, he's like, we're sitting on our hands.
And there's some interesting comments below there from Zero Bid. He's just posting like a news update or something. About some sale.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
With just rumors, it seems like nothing concrete yet. And if you look at the daily chart, Dayne, it seems to turn around a bit. Just waiting on all the indicators to turn.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a pretty significant drop in the past month here.
But yeah, keep in mind though, you have already had a 7% bounce.
There's a lot of volume in that right now.
Yeah. And what's the average?
The average for what?
The volume.
That's a good question.
It's way above it. It's the average is 200,000. In the last days, you have seen up towards 1 million in volume here.
They got earnings coming on August 9th.
Okay.
And of their last 4 earnings, they've beaten on 2 and missed on 2, so they're even.
Yeah. I will assume now, since this author has a lot of followers, that you know, these people commenting on his article are probably his followers that are familiar with him, but they are all very positive, I must say.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think the business looks good, but I see what he's saying. I mean, they just don't have a lot of wiggle room right now. I mean, there's a chance they could dilute. They have no cash. They have a lot of debt.
Yeah.
Like a really stupid amount of debt. So it's definitely very risky right here in terms of what they might have to do to get through this next period. There could be some kind of dilution before they get going, or some kind of offering of notes or something debt wise. Which do they want to push the debt up even higher from here? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they keep doing it. So
did you see his
it's all under
charts
the
in the
assumption that
article?
everything works out very well.
Sorry?
I said this is all going to work under the assumption that everything works out very well.
Yeah. Well, it has some similarities to Alto with the SAF thing, and and I like that they bring it up because
Yeah, I'll say.
well, I don't know. What do you think about this?
12, it looks like to me right
Huh?
now. I think the floor right now seems to be right around $12. So
Yeah.
but like I said, that's currently if we assume there's some kind of negative that happens here, I could easily see it go down to like even $8.
Yeah.
I think this is a sit and hold for me. I don't know if I'm interested just yet.
No, I agree. I'm not gonna put it in my tracker, but it was interesting to see that article and the outlook he portrayed there. But if you just base this on the fundamentals, it needs more, right? You can't purely on the fundamentals. This needs to turn around a little bit more, in my opinion, before it gets interesting.
Yeah, I will say though, in the meantime, I don't know, that earnings report's looming, so that makes me a little worried just to hop into it right now. But if it drops down to the $12 mark, at least on the chart, it's you could trade it there. That's what I see. I'm not saying it can't break that, so don't invest on that. But yeah. But I mean, everything's moving kind of all over the place with this recent massive drop here too.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been some ugly days.
Yeah, for sure. There's some big drops here, and it seems to come close to the earnings every time.
Yeah, and I think that's because it's gonna be. I don't think this earnings report is gonna be anything special. If anything, it's just gonna kind of basically say what we're talking about, that they're in a tough spot and they need to get through here to be able to succeed.
Last time it had this volume on the chart was in the beginning of the pandemic. I'm looking at a 5-year now. Well, we can go to the next one then.
Yeah, we can move on. If you want to start going to the next one, I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. All right.
Yeah, all good.
All right.
I will put it on break because I think I did them on Thursday, so I just want you to jump in here. So I just pause the video for a minute.
All right, be right back.
Yeah. All right, we are back. So the next ticker is VOXX, VOXX, and it's a familiar ticker, I think. I have it in my tracker. And the reason I pulled it in now, Dane, was it had a big bounce up on Friday, 14.5%. What's interesting with VOXX is that you have always seen this high amount of insider purchases, but what is his name, Carly Beat or something? He has now sold his entire position and left the company over to someone else, I think. Which is why you see this like massive insider purchases here. I think that's more like he sold his shares to this Stephen Downing guy. That's what I think is going on.
One real big positive move here, but
yeah, and I looked at the chart, and on the 5-year it seems to turn around nicely, and on the daily it's way up, you know, but the underlying business,
a pretty substantial pullback.
Huh?
So this is also after a massive pullback from $9.
Yeah, and if you look at the fundamentals, it looks ugly, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I've looked at VOXX before, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, to be honest, because it seems like there's a lot of changes. They lost a lawsuit recently. I just read about that. You know, this is a company that has disappointed for a long time, I think. And now the president has sold all his shares.
Yeah, Henrik was actually the last person to comment on him on Seeking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said, between that and the lawsuit, it looks like I don't know. This one's a little rough for me.
Yeah, I agree. I just it looked like things have turned a little bit on the chart, isolated on the chart, but then you go in and look at the fundamentals and the story here, and it looks very messy.
Yeah, this isn't such a big downtrend.
Yeah.
I actually see this going right back down.
Yeah, and you know this guy Carly Beat, I think he sold his he sold a lot of shares at least. I'm not sure if he's completely out, but seems like he was bailing on them. But
yeah, I mean, that's definitely pushing the price down, is him backing out as much as he did. Those are huge drops. That's a lot of shares sold.
But in Open Insider, the price for them is listed as $10. So I think that's why I thought they maybe have a deal with this Stephen Downing guy, because he bought for $10 as well.
Yeah, well, it looks like the same numbers, so it looks like they transferred ownership.
Yeah. But also, if you look at the trade dates on Stephen Downing, it's in 2023.
Yeah. And I mean, Kali Beat has been purchasing this thing for...
Yeah.
He's got so many orders, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's just the whole thing is a bit messy.
Yeah, I just don't see any short-term catalyst right now to make me interested in this.
Yeah, and you got the bounce maybe already then at almost 15% on Friday, you know.
Yeah.
According to this Carly Beat guy is still owning 13% as of 1st of May. Oh no, yeah. I remember actually Roaring Kitty also took a position in it based on Carly Beat buying it, because he said he buys shares every day almost, so he's making like a statement. But this is one of the investments from Roaring Kitty that I think didn't work out so well.
Well, I mean, different time period, you know, because you're talking after everything had pulled back from COVID.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, he's buying there in, you know, the stock price was down to 285, and then it appreciated to $20. So it was a 10 bagger basically.
That is true.
So
it depends on when he sold that.
yeah. So you know, I'm not gonna worry about what RK was saying a few years back, but
No. So
yeah, nothing here is catching my eye.
I didn't remember this actually went up to 27.
Yeah, but everything got crazy during that time period because they're just pumping money into the economy.
I just remember I saw this and it was like trading much lower, but okay, I remember it wrong. Yeah, and I can't remember if I did them on the stream on Thursday. I don't think so. But I know I looked at them this week, again based on the chart. But I just decided to stay away. Could be a mistake in terms of the 15% you got here on Friday, but there's just too much that I don't like here.
Yeah, I agree.
But Henrik Alex is paying attention to it. He has actually written a lot of articles on them, and he has been pretty bearish.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not good articles.
Yeah.
What are you getting for a price on this?
Nah, you know, I can see it drop more.
Yeah, I think I think around like $2 I would become more interested.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like 1.5 to 2. Yeah.
And I think upside here is about, I don't know. I mean, you could watch it kind of bounce back a little bit, but I think it could get into the low 3s, but I think this is going to keep going down towards 2.
And they don't have cash either right now.
That's yeah. Nothing. I mean, nothing looks good for this right now. Book value is just plummeting.
Terrible earnings.
And I don't see any way without adding debt or diluting, you're going to get.
Actually, when I look at the fundamentals right now, I only see 1.15% short interest. I'm a bit surprised. But a tiny market cap, but I can see this could have been a successful short.
Oh, it could be that some of the shorts are getting out too. But with the problem with Kali being involved is maybe people were kind of nervous to go against him if he's just buying shares as he was.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you'll watch it start to tick up now that it's the director that's holding most of it.
You don't see this so often, like this same guy buying. It's all green in this.
Yeah, right.
And then he just sells a lot now.
If I go off cash flows, this tells me not even to get in until it's almost down to $1.
Yeah.
So, it's bearish right now. Let's say that for sure.
And the 52-week low is 244. I think you can take that out. But what caught my eye initially was that the chart seemed to turn, and then it did now on Friday, you know. But maybe this is what you're gonna get, and then it will drop back below, you know, the old floor here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm too interested here just yet.
Yeah. The next one I have is LFWD, and that's a healthcare company. Oh no, never mind. Try to pull it up there and see what you have for data. Do you only have 2 years?
No, I got back to 2015, but the numbers are like real wonky. They didn't really even have like shares until like 2020, basically, is what this is saying.
Okay.
So really, if I'm just going off like the past few years, it is growing, but I mean they have nothing yet, no earnings. They're just burning cash as of now. They've made some acquisitions, so who knows what these earnings are actually from? Not earnings, but revenue. They don't have much debt, but they've also just burnt a ton of cash in the last year. They went from 60 million down to 20 in 1 year. So
Yeah.
that's and they keep diluting shareholders here now. So I think this is a no for me. Just looking at some basic stuff here.
Yeah, I thought I had more data on them, but I can't do anything with the data I have here. But I've actually been involved in a Scandinavian company similar to this that makes like what do you call it, like prosthetic, like robotic prosthetic to people who struggle with movements and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and also for builders and people who do like repetitive movements to protect their joints and stuff like that, and injuries. And it was very promising when I read, this is years ago now, when I did some research on that company. It was very promising, like the products and stuff. I think this is a bit similar, but I don't know anything about this one. Well, let's just go to next, and I have nothing here.
I'm just looking on Seeking just to see what this last thing is. And just his concluding thoughts are: the narrative switch from everything depends on Medicare a year ago, it's now everything depends on growth with the cash available. Assuming that LifeWord can successfully scale that 2-year mountain, then it will still be up to continue to grow beyond mere break even to justify any value to shareholders. Overall, with the Medicare question now put to rest for a favorable outcome, the fruition of growth aspirations long held is now or never. They don't have a huge buffer in cash, but he said they possibly could continue to expand. He said he would recommend a hold right now, and then we'll see into the 2025 if he considers it a cautious buy.
Yeah.
And he's been following it for a long time, the guy that I'm talking about. It's Larry Saunders. So it looks like it had a little bounce back, but no, I think we're just going to kind of be in a plateau for a while, trying to figure out where the market wants to put this. But possible growth in value here if they can manage to make it through here without killing shareholders, which that's more my worry.
Yeah. But interesting space though. Do you know a lot about this?
I mean, not specifically this product, but the problem that I see is, I'm not saying it won't work, but there's probably a ton of other competitors out there that are doing things similar. And then there's a lot of like approval type stuff you have to go through. So I don't know. We'll see. But to me, this has got a huge chance of bankruptcy. So
yeah. I just remember also from the other company I talked about when I looked into it that you know, it's not for the for the average Joe. They sell more to hospitals and to like homes where a lot of these people stay. So it's too expensive for you and me to buy these things if we need them. I'm not sure if they have got the price down on the products, but
Yeah, I mean, right now, like I said, they do have cash though. They don't have a ton of debt yet. So, you know, I would argue that this could easily be worth what they have in cash, but that's about it. I think the growth prospects are somewhat limited down here.
well, I went to the next one, MAT. Which is a toy company, it seems like.
Is this Mattel? Yeah, it's Mattel. Yeah, and I think I saw Mattel was down. They made a lot of money recently with the whole Barbie kind of craze. They own Barbie, and I don't think I've actually looked at Mattel though. I think the market cap historically was a little high for me. So this is probably one of the first times I've been able to actually kind of peek at it without thinking it's too high.
They are a bit high for me as well. If you go to the chart,
a huge bounce back, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a pretty and again on the earnings report.
I mean, I know they own a lot of stuff. I know they own Fisher Price because I know someone that works for Fisher Price, and they were saying that their parent company is Mattel.
Yeah.
But I haven't, like I said, I haven't really looked into them. I just saw a news article, I think, talking about how sales from Barbie were lower.
Yeah. Fireman Sam brands. So they have the rights to a lot of what it says. The Jurassic World. Yeah, they have a lot of names.
Yeah, Uno, Barbie, Hot Wheels, American Girl. Those are all very big toys. I don't know how they are necessarily in your side of the world, but they're huge in the States.
They are here too.
I believe
and
Mega
that Barbie,
is VOXX.
That Barbie movie was a success all over the world. So
right. So obviously a huge bump from that.
Yeah. Not a lot of comments though on these articles on Seeking. I'm not sure if people are interested in here.
So,
but the recent article,
is that why this took off? What was the earnings?
Oh,
okay, it was a beat though.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are commenting, even though obviously I think people were pretty happy in general.
Yeah. It must have been some good guidance though, because that beat wasn't too big, is it?
No, and they are down on revenues because they were saying doll sales are down. So it said Mattel reported an overall expected Q2 showing stronger than expected profitability, but slightly lower revenues. The quarter continues Mattel's long-term struggles of creating profit with the IP portfolio, making low growth likely in the future as well. With a potential short to mid-term boost from a macroeconomic recovery, M&A speculation is also heating up as Elkhart Catterton is speculated to be talking with Mattel to be taking the company private. And with Hasbro potentially joining the list of interested parties, I still believe that the acquisition of Mattel is unlikely. And while the stock is valued for stagnant earnings, the historical context makes the valuation mostly justified, which is why he's like, I initiate a hold rating. So the only thing that makes me very interested is there really talks of S&A? Because if there was talks of someone buying them, that's where you would possibly see this stock price movement, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of crazy. It's, you know, it's been stagnant, got down to $16, and then kind of on a relatively tame earnings jumped this much.
But they are I'm searching for the word guidance now in the transcript, and they are like consistently saying that they are reiterated our guidance. So they are saying it like 16 times, that line. So it seems like they have strong belief of the rest of the year, and maybe that's the spike up.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it has pretty positive revisions. So maybe people were thinking that their guidance was gonna miss here, and now that they hit it, everyone's just repricing it to say like, no, it probably is gonna hold up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that the people were a bit scared of the environment right now, and they are just coming in. But it seems very planned now, because they are saying the same sentence over and over again here.
It's interesting. You know, someone's talking about taking Mattel private. I wonder what this would pay. I wonder what they would have to pay for this.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there'd be a decent premium on this if someone was going to buy it.
You would think so, with all the rights they have. They have a good catalog.
Like, I don't think you could buy this for $20. I think you're going to have to pay substantially up for this.
Yeah. There's a comment. I'm checking Twitter. Not sure how he's saying, like, even after yesterday big move of 15%, metal is trading at where it was over 20 years ago. Not sure how management can say they have done a good job. If someone bids 25 a share, you will likely see this gets taken private.
That's what I was just actually. I was wondering. I was like, I feel like maybe like, because my fundamental right now is telling me fair values at like $24.
Oh yeah, and look here. If you look at this link, there's a story in Reuters exclusive. Buyout firm L Catterton approaches Mattel with acquisition offer, sources say, and this is from 22nd of July.
Yeah, no, Catterton, that's the one that the guy was talking about on Seeking.
Okay.
So I think it's that news article. I think that's what you're seeing here is people are thinking.
It jumped 20% on this news.
I don't know. What do you think? You think it's worth taking the risk? I mean, $25 is still a good premium if that happens.
Let me have a look at the. Let me have a look here.
Back to 18.
To be honest, I oh, there's an activist involved also. Activist investor Barrington Capital in February called on Mattel to pursue changes, including exploring options for its Fisher-Price and American Girl brands and separating the roles of CEO and chairman.
Gotcha. And the other thing too is it said Reuters said Catterton approached Mattel with an acquisition offer, though Yahoo contradicted that report, and Mattel would not comment on any talk, saying it was confident in its standalone strategy. But it said Reuters also speculated that interest from L. Catterton could lead to a bidding war with Hasbro possibly joining in. So I don't know.
It seems though. I think I think it will go for higher than $20 if they get bought out here, and if you look at the chart, it seems to have a good momentum going on right now. So I'm not surprised if you get a little bit of return if you jump in on tomorrow. You know.
Yeah, I think right now I'd be. I would just want to see a pullback here if I was going to try and take the risk on to take a position here.
And the 52-week high is 22.44, but that, I guess that doesn't matter now if the rumor is that they're gonna buy them. It can easily break the 52-week high.
Yeah, for sure.
Did they say anything on the call? Yeah.
I was trying to see what the average amount that private equity pays up for shares.
Yeah.
I can't find anywhere.
But don't you think it's
like 10% or 20% or?
Isn't it a bit weird to say they are reiterating our full year guidance 16 times in one call? Do you think they do that because of they know that someone is looking to buy them up, like to show them that the rest of the year will be good?
It could be, and it also could be too that if the stock price was down so much and people just kept, if the general narrative is that they're going to miss guidance, if I was management and I'm like, listen, we're not going to miss guidance, like we're sticking with that, like we're telling you that is what we're going to hit this year. Everything points to what we said. That that's as fair as you can be in terms of that.
They are saying we expect to outpace the industry and gain global market share.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, not to say that someone couldn't come in and buy them, but it seems like they're so far happy with what's going on here. So the other thing too is, in my mind, in order for someone to come in here and actually buy Mattel, they might expect kind of a high premium because they sound like they're relatively confident on what they're doing on their own.
Yeah, they do.
So.
And it's like, again, so we think we're in a good spot and have reiterated our guidance. Just throwing it in every answer.
Well, obviously the stock price reacted to the earnings report, because there was the news of the buy, and then the very next day it was pretty heavy pullback, but then guidance pushed it right back above where that was.
Yeah. And if they are serious, like if that is true, look at the last column in 24. The numbers are pretty good, to be honest. And if they keep going up, I can even see a higher than 25 here. If someone wants to buy them.
Yeah.
But it's risky
And
to
right
have
now,
that as your thesis, though.
Well, and the other thing too, I'm reading here, and it says the potential rationale for an Al Catterton deal for Mattel also isn't entirely clear. According to Alexander, who has an equal weight rating on Mattel and a price target of $19. So it doesn't appear that there's any obvious areas for a PE firm to further rationalize, like paying up essentially for Mattel.
Yeah.
They said, looking at historical precedents, strategic buyers have paid 8 to 11 times EBITDA range for toy businesses. Okay, this is actually what I wanted to know, which would imply the price anywhere from 18 to 24.
Well,
but it does not sound like Mattel is interested. It said that they're very confident in their strategy to build long-term shareholder value as a standalone company.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they're telling the truth. It sounds like it. Doesn't sound like there's going to be a buy, but it sounds like they're happy with where they're at. Would you agree?
Sorry, I was reading. I didn't hear what you. What did you say?
No, I just think it sounds like I don't think management's interested even in getting bought out at this.
Oh no, it didn't sound like that at all.
Crazy price.
Yeah, no, I agree. Either they are talking very strongly and give the impression that they don't want to sell to get they're not going to go for cheap, you know, or they actually mean it and they have no ambition to sell the company at all.
Yeah, I think management's trying to tell you what they're thinking, and what they're saying is that they're not doing anything right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and here is actually a sentence in Yahoo that I'm reading now. Reuters said El Catterton approached Mattel with an acquisition offer, though Yahoo contradicted that report, and Mattel would not comment on any talks, saying it was confident in its standalone strategy.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to check on?
Those were actually the tickers I had for today. But I'm glad we found this last one, because that's maybe the only really interesting one I think today. But it's hard to navigate through how to deal with this. But I think I'm gonna add it to the tracker just because I want to check the story here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to follow to see what actually happens and see, that was management. I think management's trying to tell you what's going on. I think they're trying to tell you how they feel, and they're being serious.
Yeah. Which then can also justify a higher share price than $19, I think. Long term.
Right.
But saying that though, in the comment from on Twitter that the stock price is at the same it was 20 years ago, maybe management has not done a so good job in this company. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bit. You can't really compare to something where it was 20 years ago. Even it's a bit wrong to do that, I think. But margins are improving. Like they can justify what they are saying on the call, you know. It says also that Metal repurchased 100 million in shares in second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think they've been doing all right. It's, you know, I mean,
But I will say this though, this CEO is on Jim Cramer's show, so you know that's a bit dangerous.
well, did Jim Cramer say to buy?
Yeah, I
He
don't
said to
dare
buy,
to
then
play the
no.
video. But if he says the word to buy the stock,
I will
I'm
short
gonna
it.
short it, I think.
Short that shit.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna add it to the tracker and just to keep track on their story here. But it's for two parts, like to track if the company is actually turning around and doing well, or if there's some more concrete news about the potential acquisition here. But right now I'm leaning towards that they have no plans to sell it. Oh no, he's saying here CNBC Kramer said that Matt stock is so cheap that there could be aggressive hostile buyer. That's not good.
Yeah, no, it's all over.
All right. Did you have any more tickers, or was this is it?
No, because I didn't even get a chance to really screen through, so I don't have anything just yet. So
Yeah.
I might just call it here, and then if I get a chance, I'll go through and maybe check some of the charts and stuff like that. But
Yeah. They have a 4% short interest too. I wouldn't be short if there's a buyout.
Was it you and I that was looking at Karoo last time?
Which one?
Karoo?
No, you did it on the stream with value.
So that had a hell of a day. It was up 20% a day.
Yeah. Value told me he was also in ASTS or something, and he sold for a double, and it then went on to triple.
ASTS is like one of the best gainers of the year.
Yeah, I saw also on that app from Sir Jack. There was a guy there who played that stock, and he was up like 20 million or something on it.
Yeah, no, pretty impressive, the track there. Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay, then we will finish then. And are you back on Tuesday or Monday now, Dane?
No, I'll do Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So normal time Tuesday. I will be on Thursday, and we will discuss when we do the next weekend one then.
Yeah, I think I'm back to normal. I don't have anything coming up for a little bit here finally.
Yeah. But you will hear from us if you follow us on X. We try to update on the weekend ones, because that's the only one that are not like we try to do it on Saturday at 6 a.m. EST, but a lot of times things are going on in our lives that we need to postpone and stuff like that, so it's not so easy.
Yeah, I wish it was a lot easier during the week just to do some streams, but it's all good. Yeah, I'll be on Tuesday, and I'll go through some of these screenings and stuff and adjust the portfolio, and we'll see where we're at on then. Like I said, it's big earnings week. A lot of people are going to start to go through earnings this first week. And next 2 weeks, it seems like there's a lot of companies going through earnings. So
yeah,
there'll probably be a lot moving around.
For sure. And Alto earnings is on 31st of July, so that's this coming week then.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going on with Alto. I think, let me just check my dashboard real quick, but I think Alto's, I've started to add now, especially since it's dropped, when it dropped below $1.50, that's where I really started to add to it.
Yeah.
So I'm back up to about a 5% position in Alto.
Okay.
So slowly increasing that one still.
Yeah. So 31 will be the day before my stream then, so I will go through it on Thursday probably, the results and all the comments and everything like that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Should be an interesting day.
Yeah, for sure. It is some interesting times moving forward. But I feel like it's a bit tricky to jump in right now in the middle of earnings. So I might stay in cash a little bit longer and just keep track of things. That's kind of my plan.
Yeah, I think it sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for everyone who watched, and thank you, Value, for coming in briefly. And Dayne, I expect to see you in my chess app soon.
Yeah. What's the app that you use?
It's chess.com.
Oh, just chess.com. You have to actually go to the website.
You can play on their website, yeah, but they have an app also.
Oh, okay, just an app. Yeah. Now let me. I'll just have to download the app.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll just have to send me who you are.
Yeah. No, I'm Redneck Johnny, of course.
On there.
Yeah. I used the same picture.
I'm installing it now, so I'll be on.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
See you on Tuesday then.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.